being talked about and nothing happens. I mean, academia, this is one of the big challenges. I wanted to give you an impression, at least, who are speakers. It's not done yet. We are working on a number of very important speakers, but some of them you will know. Linda Grattan from London Business School. And Linda Grattan has been there already in 2010. She has been with us. And what's very, very positive, the essay contest, the contest for the young generation was mentioned, the Peter Drucker Challenge. Linda Grattan will be the chair of the jury, which will give an enormous visibility to the Drucker Challenge. And with the Drucker Challenge, where we involve the younger generation, so let's say generation Y, hopefully, because otherwise we get a sort of baby boomer group. Yeah? Here we have some young ones, but the majority is probably baby boomer and a few X. So with this, we attract young people, and they will provide input to the conference. I think a very good recent win is Roger Martin, who has written a very pertinent book to this subject. And if you haven't heard about it, or if you haven't read it, it's something I would also recommend, Fixing the Game. This talks about capitalism and about how to adapt constantly, because any system that won't change will fail. I mean, that's very clear. And then we have also unusual speaker. Who knows Umair Haque? May I just ask you? Who knows him? Yeah, because you're a publisher. Yeah. You know him. So not too many. So you will have an opportunity to see people that you normally don't see. I tell you one thing. Umair Haque has, I think he's written 2 books now. One is the New Capitalist Manifesto, and the other is Betterness. And he has on Twitter, and that's an indication now for reputation, getting an indication. He has 170,000 followers on Twitter as an individual. So that's quite remarkable. That shows he's getting to ideas that people want to discuss. Yeah, I don't say he knows all the implementation questions, but it's quite interesting. Of course, business leaders, I don't need to introduce Christian Conrad, right? I didn't know how to translate his title. I will find out before the Generalanwalt. I don't know if this exists anywhere in the same way. General counsel sounds not like his level, yeah? But anyway, this sounds like the legal guy. But we have the president of Mazars as a...
President is okay.
Oh, yeah. President of Mazars, that's the right, yeah. And we have the president of a company who is fully employee-owned and who is part of the Fortune 500, a big company, S&P 500, S&P 500, a big company and fully employee-owned with a very interesting history. Again, showing alternate models. From the media side, from the international media, Adrian Woodridge was mentioned many times. Andrew Hill, who is a new management editor of The Economist, is really engaged. Financial Times. And I expect Harvard Business Manager to be represented with Christoph Seger. And in addition, I didn't mention that, but Bloomberg Business Week is represented because the executive director of the Drucker Institute in Claremont is a columnist also in Business Week. But I mentioned this lady because it's really interesting. It's one of the mega changes that we see, which will impact our discussion. Sarah Horowitz is the leader of a new type of union. You know, the trade unions, the old trade unions. It's not like any old trade union. It's called Freelancers Union. And the Freelancers Union combines all those people who work part-time, freelance, contractors, what have you. And you will not believe it, but in the US, this population amounts currently to 30% of the working population and has dramatically grown during the last 15 years. In Europe, it's lower, but I've seen studies from the European Commission. Nobody talks about this a lot. I think these are all subjects which are relevant for our discussion. Nobody talks about it, but in Europe, it's between 15 and 20%, and equally growing. And one point to this, because we talked about happiness also, it turned out a study which was conducted in Europe on this subject, and it's a new way of capitalist, I mean, of economic configuration. What the study found out, that while the uncertainty and insecurity in some way of these people is higher than the employed, the typically employed, they are, generally speaking, more satisfied with their ability to make their own decisions about where they put their time and their focus. So there are very interesting things happening. Now, if you want to look